Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Hello, welcome in. Happy Sunday to everybody. Just a little we're gonna bring the chat up here. We're going live, taking some Sunday questions. Excited for this. Wife and daughter are out of town today, so home all by myself, had some extra time on my hands, and so I thought, hey, I'll jump on, answer some questions live here on the show. Post qualifying and practice and all the fun stuff. So get your questions in, and that's all this is. I'm just answering questions. So I did want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Underdog. Make sure you head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code RACESGPN when you sign up. Get that sweep deposit bonus. Probably going to put together a Underdog fantasy lineup or two here while we go. So, all right, I am going to go back to the top of the chat here. Let me figure out, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. We're going to the very top. Let's see. We're going to have to do, just work with me here, friends. Here we go. All right, we got to take that down to bring up each individual comment. Here we go. All right, Lynn checking in, says Underdog picks. Sweet, I may just load up. Let's go. Sancha checking in. Yay, surprise show. JDK says live pre-race show for the win. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. Just Sunday's usually family day. A lot of stuff has been going on. Busy as summer with sports, but glad I had a free Sunday to talk about this Iowa race. I wish I was in Iowa, but some other stuff didn't work out to get there. So Sansa checking in. Chase Elliott, top 5, plus 150. I do like that very much. Chase Elliott, he's so solid, and I don't see any reason why he's not going to be solid again this week. Obviously, very good at Dover a couple of weeks ago, a track that I'm sort of using as a bit of a comp at least. So, I do love that. Marcus checking in, wants to know who everybody's pick is. So share your pick with Marcus in the chat. If I had to guess, Marcus's pick probably Christopher Bell. The Unscripted Sports Show checking in. I believe that is our guy Money E over in the Discord. Shout out to you. Thanks for jumping in. Lynn says, love the last minute qualifying with the picks done. This is what you get every week, by the way, in the Sports Gambling Podcast Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Jump in over there, jump into the NASCAR channel, and we're there answering questions, but the community is there, all over a little bit of everything, and everybody's sharing their opinions, their takes, different ways they're getting in on stuff. So you love to see that. Impulse saying Allmendinger. That's it. Just AJ Allmendinger. AJ Allmendinger. I mean, what more do you need to know than AJ Allmendinger? I was going to see AJ's top 10 number here, plus 400. I don't know. Sometimes the top 10s get a little bit neutered, and I think that might be one of them. Probably fairly sneaky. I should have probably had all this stuff pulled up before I went live, but whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. I was trying to pull up DraftKings to see what his salary is. Of course, that doesn't want to load, so we'll get back to it. Lynn saying boogity, boogity, boogity. There's the Marcus prediction on Christopher Bell. Predicts he's going to win from Iowa starting in 17th. Plus, he was the fastest car in practice yesterday. So, yeah, that's interesting. Fastest car in practice, but ends up starting 17th after qualifying. So, going to have some work ahead of him, but he's been good, right? Shake Griffin checking in with the let's go. Unscripted saying a Hendrick driver is overdue or is due. Which Hendrick driver is the question? Of course, boy, it's been tough to be in lately on William Byron or Kyle Larson. As far as winning, Chase Elliott probably the one I would lean to going that way. I finally got DraftKings to pull up here. Oof, AJ starts 9th place. That's going to be a tough day in fantasy, I think, for him. If you're looking for that, probably going to be pretty tough. So that top 10, though, I mean, he's got the track position to start. I think personally, probably going to be more of not much tire degradation. They brought this new tire, which I don't know why they did that. But I don't think we're going to get a ton of stuff when it comes to that. So track position might be key here, might be huge. A guy like AJ, I mean, they're going to be rolling the dice. So you can certainly look at a top 10 there for that number. Shake checking in with the Alex Bowman top 10. Let's see, Alex Bowman. I was going to pull him up and see how he's done. I feel like he's been pretty good on some of these kind of similar tracks. And as we've kind of talked about lately, he's been kind of back in his, on a good run here again. 9th place last week, 3rd at Dover. So if you want to look at that directly here recently, you like that. Sonoma was a rough day, but 8th at Chicago, 3rd at Atlanta, 4th at Mexico City, some of the recent finishes. So those are all good. He was 7th at Phoenix as well. So, Bowman top 10, and you can get that. Looks like I'm just going to use Bet365 here because that's what I pulled up, plus 150. I mean, that's seems to be always good value on Mr. Bowman. Lynn saying Coaster gets to put his feet up today. No, I have a long list of to-do things that I'll be getting done over the next few days, sort of unfortunately, but things I need to get done anyways. So working on the projects, checking that off. I will be doing that. JDK says he doesn't think he's seen Marcus say anything but Bell every week. He's not a bot. Marcus is a real guy, and he's a Bell super fan, so he's going to bet on him every week. Daniel's in on the top 10 as well. Tallboy 73 checking in. That's 10 good bets over on the Discord. Unscripted Show wants to know who a sleeper for a top 10 is. I gave out John Hunter Nemechek earlier this week on the betting episode. I'm still going to kind of stick with that. I really like John Hunter. Obviously, Legacy has looked really good lately. Some interesting rumors with Legacy and Haas possibly joining forces. Obviously, Gene Haas did that before with a championship-winning driver. That worked out pretty well. Nemechek starting 29th, so but I'm still kind of on him as far as a long shot guy goes. Cole Custer's at 11-1. I do not want to bet this, and I don't like it. But if you really want a true, I suppose, sleeper, he's starting 19th, so he's got some track position. He's been really good at Dover before. We tried playing him at Dover a couple of weeks ago. It didn't work out. But if you want like a true down the board, I mean, he's the 4th longest shot for a top 10. Gosh, I don't completely hate it. I guess I'll give that out. Daniel with an Elliott Group B over on DraftKings. Let's who's in that group? I will get it pulled up here. And then with Bowman Group E on Bet365, I can get to that one quicker since I've got that pulled up here. Maybe if, of course, the tabs never want to work when you need them. Let's see. Boy, great radio here. Great. Where's the freaking groups at? Oh, to win group. They label it different every time, it seems. Okay, Bowman Group E. So he is plus 280 against Austin Cindric. I got to tell you, I've been pumping up Austin Cindric in the Discord. I'm really, really starting to get in on Austin Cindric as we get closer to the race here. I took a little sprinkle for him, top 4 to 12-1, and top 10. I think the guys were saying he's plus 150 or so. I kind of like Austin Cindric this week. I just want to toss that out there. But you also got Ty Gibbs and Ryan Preece in this group. Yeah, I don't mind Bowman there. Gibbs should be fast, but what are we going to get from him? Who exactly knows? Cindric, I do like, but plus 230 for Bowman. And Preece, man, Preece should be good here, but he's not starting well. He's not been good on a lot of the comp tracks. Tough. Shake saying Byron 6-1. I just can't get on board with Byron. Byron and Larson to me right now are just, I don't want to touch them. They're going to win at some point here soon. They've been running well enough, but man, it's the low numbers we're getting them at. When you can get a guy like Denny Hamlin, I think I saw 10-1 or 11-1 with the boost I think Rowdy got. Boy, that's I'd much rather have something like that with a guy who's been getting it done. Lynn says, so what do you got to think? So what do you got to think a new winner today? I don't know. Are we going to get a new winner today? A guy, I mean, who's going to win that hasn't won? Keselowski starting up near the front. I suppose you could throw him on that list. The problem is a lot of the top dogs that you expect to be good here have already won this year. A guy like Tyler Reddick hasn't won, but I don't expect him to be very good today. So, just kind of looking through the list, as far as like starting positions go, a guy like Cindric's already won. Keselowski, interesting. Hocevar's always interesting, but he could tend to step on it at times, which can be an issue. Maybe AJ gambles or something like that. McDowell starting 13th. I don't know. I don't know that we get a new winner this week. I think there's a couple of races coming up. Watkins Glen could always be a wild card. Daytona, of course, and even Richmond we saw last year. Could be as well. Unscripted Sports Show saying best NASCAR Discord channel. Thank you, appreciate that. And all the other sports are great too. Like we have I think there's almost 10,000 people in our Discord now. And just tons of different chats and channels in there. So love that. Sansa with the John R. Nemechek top 10, 7-1 for a sprinkle. Love that. Daniel says FanDuel. Oh, I forgot about that DraftKings group. I got to go back up. This is what happens when I don't have Rod to keep me in check here. Elliot, Group B on DraftKings. So NASCAR here. Group winner, Group B. So, oh boy, this is a tough group. You got Briscoe at 2-1. I love Briscoe. I forgot to say at the top of the show, happy Chase Briscoe week. It is Briscoe week. Chase Elliott's plus 240. Denny Hamlin is plus 275. Keselowski plus 330. I really like 3 of the 4 of these. Keselowski, he's fine, but Denny Hamlin at 275, that's the guy I would be looking at in this group. Just because Denny Hamlin's starting a little farther back, he started all the way in the back at Indy last week. Backup car didn't matter. He is there's nobody hotter in NASCAR right now than Denny Hamlin. And that's not a guy I want to be betting against, honestly. Daniel pointing out that FanDuel had AJ top 10 at 16-1 yesterday before practice. Yeah, some people will tell you only get good bets after practice and qualifying, but I know it's not always the question. So, Unscripted Sports Show saying don't sleep on Bowman. I try to never sleep on Bowman. Bowman needs a win. He doesn't have a win. True, that he's a guy that I failed to mention up there that certainly could get a win today as well. Tallboy is Team Cindric today. Me too. Let's see. Trying to catch up. Cole checking in says love a pre-race show. I think this week's wide open had pre-practice and qualifying not looking good unless they adopt Keselowski setup, who looks strong. Bubba 50-1, strong in practice. Priest, man, I went back and forth, and we kind of talked about this on the show a little bit earlier this week. Talked about it in the Discord too. Priest, I had him in the dock like 60-1 as an outright early. I was like, oh yeah, Priest is Priest week. But then just looking like a lot of the comp stuff, he's not great on. New Hampshire, kind of the outlier, but I don't know. And with current form and what he's done this year, it's hard to know because some places he hasn't looked great in the past, he's looked great at, and this should be a track style that should suit him. Starting near the back now, he's going to be really popular in DFS today. I'm going to probably not play a ton of them because I think everybody's going to play him. Now, that can go either way, right? And I love playing DFS and love betting. I wouldn't claim to be a DFS, savant or spreadsheet expert or anything like that. But I feel like his roster percentage is going to be extremely high. So I think that's going to be tough. But Bubba Wallace, 50-1, strong in practice. I mean, I heard him on a couple different shows this week talking about like, oh, we might just pit on the first lap and try something different. I mean, he was joking, obviously, but they do have room to play with now with that win in the bank. So I think JDK was trying to get me to say this name, but I'll just say the driver of the number 7. Rod is on him for the top 10 early in the week. He probably should have got it then. He's starting well. Maybe he was saying he could win this week. I don't see that happening, but hey, we did talk about him on the DFS show as well. He's been strong DFS play lately, although starting well today. Oof, tough. Impulse with playing John or Nemechek top manufacturer. That's pretty much a good bet each and every week just because of the value, because things can happen. Not a ton of Toyotas on the field. or on the track, I suppose. But boy, I think Toyota's gonna be strong today. I love Denny, I love Briscoe, I love Bell. Gibbs is gonna be great, I think, as well. Kind of out on the 2311 guys, but I think the 4 Gibbs car is gonna be tough to beat, but he could certainly get it done. Circumstances are right. He should be fine. Unscripted Sports Show saying Daniel Suarez as a sleeper for a top 10. Book it. Oof, I don't know if we're booking it. I was sort of in on him after he got fired, because I was like, okay, great, here we go, right? Like, this is a good opportunity to show up and accomplish some stuff. But I don't feel like he's accomplished anything since he got fired. So I'm trying to pull up what he's done. What have you done for me lately here? If I can click on the right tabs here. Here we go. Yeah, 27th last week at Indy, 26th at Dover. Sonoma, where he should have been good, 14th. Chicago, he was 29th. Atlanta, he was 34th. Pocono, he was 15th. Mexico City, where he should have been great. He wins the Xfinity race, like 19th there. He hasn't had a top 10 since Texas, all the way back in May. Bristol was a bad finish. Like, he had that outlier second place finish at Las Vegas, but those are his only 2 top 10s the entire year. Oh, Talladega. So Texas, Talladega, and Las Vegas, the only top 10s for Suarez all year. What's his number is at 4-1. No, thank you. Like, I would, I don't know. And I mean, yeah, I guess you call it a sleeper for a reason, but 4-1, there's a lot of things I would much rather, probably get on. So JDK saying Inspire unloaded with good speed and practice. Rowdy would argue the definition. Yes, that's boy. If nothing else, join the Discord just to see Rowdy and JDK go at it, because that's always great. But Spire did unload with good speed and practice. So probably a Carson Hocevar day, I think, is what you're saying. I'm sure Rod would agree if he were here. John says he believes San Diego's on Father's Day next year. It is going to be on Father's Day. I'm pretty excited for that. Navy veteran myself, so seeing the Navy and NASCAR, connect and combine. Big birthday for the Navy next year as well. So you love to see all of that stuff. And Father's Day, they're going to go big on that, and it's going to be really great. Unscripted Sports Show bringing up Kyle Busch over Bubba Wallace plus 120 on ESPN Bet. This is an interesting one. Honestly, the plus money side of things for Kyle Busch, I don't mind. I like that. I know that Kyle's not starting well in this race. For as much of a track position race as this is going to be, I'm not overly concerned by starting position. I mean, certain guys, I suppose that it should. I was going to say maybe he's not starting as bad as I thought, and then I realized he's starting last because, of course, he I don't believe even made a qualifying attempt, but he is starting from the back. He's going to be very popular in DFS too. I am playing him, but I sort of like him. I like him every week. He's good, and like he's really good at coming from the back, right? He spins out a lot and goes to the back and still finds his way back forward. Bubba starting 15th. It'll be interesting to see what strategies they pull. Maybe you get beat on a strategy, but maybe him playing strategy hurts him as well and ends up with Kyle Busch. So, yeah, if I was taking a side on this, I would take Kyle Busch over Bubba Wallace, plus 120 over on ESPN. JDK saying Keselowski could be the new winner. Hocevar could be the new winner. And Unscripted Sports Show saying Alex Bowman. I do think those 3 guys all very capable of winning this week for sure. So maybe I didn't give that enough credit in the initial question, as I should have. Impulse checking in saying I got my long shot bets in and I got $28 left to throw. Well, what are we putting it on? First of all, do you have Denny Hamlin top 5? Because that's my favorite bet that's sitting out there right now. I would definitely get in on that. I might just put all $28 on there. I don't know what your bankroll looks like, but Denny Hamlin has just been a man on freaking fire lately. We've talked about him plenty on the show, and I'll pull it up here, but the number of oval races, and we'll include the triangle of Pocono in there, of course, because it's still an oval race. He's finished in the top 5, like Indy, Dover. If you want to throw Chicago in there, fine. But, just looking at the ovals, Pocono, Michigan, Nashville. So the last time he didn't finish in the top 5 on an oval was May 11th at Kansas, where he ended up wrecking out and finished in 36th. But he's been so strong this year, and even looking back, he had kind of a rough stretch. Kansas, Charlotte, Texas, Talladega were rough, but Before that, he was on fire too. Second at Bristol, first at Darlington, first at Martinsville, fifth at Miami, second at Phoenix. So any of the short tracks we've been to, he's been amazing. He's been one of the best short track guys. Again, I do not care where Denny Hamlin starts. You could probably put him 2 laps down and make him catch up to the field, and he's going to do it. He has looked so good lately, and until he starts not looking good, going to fade him. And he's not starting 37th like he did last week at Indianapolis. He's starting 11th. That's not that far back. He'll make quick work of a couple of these guys in front of him. He's starting behind the number 7 car. I'm not going to say his name still. Starting behind Allmendinger. Hocevar's right ahead of him. Like, there's some guys he's going to get around pretty quickly. If his pit crew can come through, he's going to be great. So make sure you got some Denny Hamlin on your card as well. Unscripted Sports Show saying Reddick finished 9th here last year. He's gotten better at the short track. Oh boy, it's a hard word. He's gotten better on the short track stuff, is what I was trying to go for, than he had before. But the current form, I don't know. I guess you could debate current form, but 29th at Indies, and that was yes, he was running better than that. I know he was up front when he had to pit for gas, but it took him strategy to get up there. He wasn't really that good of a car all day. 12th at Dover is not outstanding. Like Sonoma, Chicago, Atlanta were good finishes, but before that at Pocono, Mexico City, Michigan, rough days. 9th at Nashville. But if you go back, like 20th at Phoenix, that's more of kind of what I expect. And it's very telling when you look at the odds too, because even when the odds come out early in the week, Tyler Reddick, at 1.5 miles is one of the favorites. And we get to a short track and he's marketably down the field. So he just, I don't know. Yeah, 9th place here last year. Okay. But I don't expect a ton out of Tyler Reddick today. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. top 10. He did finish in the top 10 last year. Actually looked really good here last year. He's a guy that we talked about on the betting episode. I believe I actually gave out this exact bet. And I was going to pull up his top 10 number and see what he's still at. So he's at plus 650 now. We got him on the show earlier this week at, what number did we get him at? Maybe we did we not talk about Stenhouse top 10? Maybe that was one that was on there. Then we took off. I guess we did take it off because I did not see it on here. So just kidding about that. I guess we did take it. Boy, I got to refresh my mind sometimes on, oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. That's probably the problem. Probably should not look at the Indianapolis sheet because that's not going to help me. I was like, Priest did make it on the card. Just kidding. No, he didn't. Stenhouse top 10 was 12-1 earlier this week. Did give that out on the show. And now he's down to plus 650. So I hope you got him at 12-1. I mean, if you want to get him at plus 650, there's too many things that can go wrong for a guy like that. And again, it was 12-1 earlier in the week for a reason. Now that's obviously been backed up because he's looked pretty good and people have bet on it. So that number's come down. He's not starting well either, though. He's starting 30th, plus 650. Like, I don't know that I would still bet on him at this point in time. So Ross Sieg wants to know about Gibbs. Give me all the Gibbs. I love all the Gibbs today. I'm bigger on the Gibbs teammates than Ty himself. But I think that Ty is going to be very good. He's just kind of in a weird spot where how do you bet on him? I don't really know. Top 5 at plus 550. That's a pretty solid number. Oh, okay. Top 10 is plus 175. If you want to bet on Ty Gibbs, that's how I would do it, because then he doesn't have to be like, we expect his teammates to be great, right? We expect Denny to run for the win. We expect Bell to run for the win. We expect Briscoe to run for the win. Now, Gibbs also can run for the win, but I think getting him at this number, plus 175, and all he has to do is top 10 for you, I like that a lot better. And, he's been, I don't know, there's been some hit and miss in there as I pull up what he's done, but he's been pretty good lately, like 5th at Dover just a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to get a little risky with the plus 550, he just did it at a kind of comp track here recently. He had that second place run at Michigan a couple of weeks ago, 7th at Sonoma, 2nd at Chicago where he was super fast. So he's kind of been on a run of good runs. Bristol, very loose comp-ish track to this, 3rd place. 25th at Phoenix, you'd like to see better than that earlier this season, but you could definitely, the top 10 I think is where obviously is kind of the safer one. But if you want to roll the dice, plus 550 on the top 5, I like that as well. Jay checking in, big on Cindric, Hamlin, and Briscoe. Me too. Kylie checking in. Hello, Kylie. Good to see you. Says, hey, bud. I got Elliott top 5, top 10, and top Chevy. Woof. What's I'm guessing you got that. Well, is it -2 on her top 10? That's but I love Chase Elliott this week, and looking back, I did have the outright on him 11-1 on the show. That was really the only way that I found to get on him pre-show. Rod did have him over Christopher Bell. I don't know if that matchup is still available out there or not. But yeah, Elliott, he's another guy that's just in his groove right now. Very streaky driver, and is doing really well. So I love that you got the little car lift on Elliott, and actually top Chevy. I like too. Again, I'm not feeling Byron and Larson for their numbers lately. And Elliott's been the better of the car. Like, I know it's weird to say that, but in a vacuum, small look back at what are you doing for me right now, he's been the best Hendrick car lately. So I think you take advantage while you're still getting decent numbers. Steven checking in. Shout out to Steven. Says, I love your videos. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. Go Elliott. Agree with you. I love Chase Elliott. Big Elliott fan. And Kylie got Bowman. Well, it says top Ford, but I'm assuming that's top Chevy plus 1990. Ooh, that's a good number for Bowman. I mean, you look back at that third place finish a couple of weeks ago at Dover. I don't mind that at all. So the Unscripted Sports Show saying Bubba top 10. I don't know. It's hard to sell me on Bubba this week. Like, it's plus 175. I'd rather have Gibbs at plus 175. I'd rather have Bowman at plus 150. Just, I don't know. Just other guys I would rather have than Bubba Wallace. And it's not a knock on Bubba. I love Bubba. Great win last week. He outdueled Kyle Larson in multiple overtimes. Like, he made his fuel last. Everything was great. And I'm a big Bubba guy, but just short tracks, like in a general sense, he's not been great. Phoenix 29th earlier this year. Now he was 7th at Dover a couple of weeks ago, so give him that, right? My concern is they do get to points racing in a way where he's going for stages and less focused on the finish because they're not racing for regular season points, but they want to stack up any playoff points they can get. That could be the downfall of that. But I mean, current form, right? He's coming off of a huge win, coming off at 7th at Dover. So if you take that very small sample, I don't mind that at all. So Steven, a lot of allegiances here. Boo Denny. Denny gets a lot of that, but go Daniel Suarez. So there you go. Kylie, Briscoe, top manufacturer. Yeah, again, Toyota. I got to see the number on this because Toyota is, I love all these guys too much. That's a problem. Like, plus 225, same as Christopher Bell, but you got Denny at plus 250. When you got Denny at that, Denny's going to win or lose a lot of money for me. If anybody that's out there that uses the locals, I know some of you do, you can get Denny at plus 150 against Kyle Larson. I think that's out on a regular book too. But you can also get Denny against, I think it was William Byron was the other one I took. I'm just all in on Denny today. I think this is one of those things where it's like, don't overlook the starting position. And I know he wasn't great here last year, but everything about what he's doing, I love currently. Kylie also has Josh Berry to be the top finishing Ford. I like that as well. I'm kind of big on Berry today. I know some people were kind of poo-pooing on Berry this week. Didn't think it's his week. He's 8-1. The Ford market again. It's wow. And Austin Cindric's down to 8-1 now. At least on Bet365. I had seen him, I think, at 12-1 earlier on DraftKings when I was looking. But Ford's wide open. Blaney should be the guy. We all know that, right? He should be the top Ford at the end of the day. But if he's not, and if something goes wrong, Kozlowski, Logano, you never know what they're going to get. But Berry, then the next guy. So I'd probably take Cindric over Berry at this point in the week, but I don't mind the Berry top Ford either. Tall Boy 73 saying Trackhouse ran well here last year. Problem is Trackhouse has just looked like not great lately. I mean, obviously SVG had his dominant wins at the road courses, but outside of that, not seen a ton from Trackhouse lately. So I don't know. I'm kind of out on them at the moment. When they get Zilich next year, I'll be excited to fade the under or the over on the win totals because they're going to go crazy like they did with Ty Gibbs. We're going to cash on that, but we'll talk about that in the offseason. Kylie says, let's go Elliott. Yes, heavily invested on Elliott. Obviously, you are. So I know you'll be rooting hard. Steven has some love for Carson Hocevar. Love it. Tall boy, Stenhouse 6-1, top 10 sleeper. I kind of talked about that a few minutes ago. Hope you got it earlier in the week at the bigger number, but you know. Lynn checking in says, I wonder what grooming standard Cody looked like. Hard to imagine you without facial hair. Well, I will tell you, Lynn, there's a reason that I only have facial hair now. So it looks bad. And I weighed a lot less when I was in the military, but I'll share a little Navy photo in the Discord for those of you that want to see. I was only, I was in the military from 18 to 21 or whatever. So, I was pretty young at the time, but yeah, I was in my grooming standards. But these days, you don't want to see me without the beard. So that's why we keep the beard, because it looks much better. Lynn also agreeing with me on the Hamlin and the red zone. God, you guys are keeping the chat going. I love this. I wasn't sure, coming on. I don't know why I wasn't sure. I know you guys, and I should know better by now. But I was like, oh, am I just gonna be on here like talking to myself? But not the case. So shout out to all of you coming in strong with the chat. Tallboy73 says, I like Hocevar to run well. Bet him top 5, top 10. He should run well, right? He looks good. He looks fast all the time. Steps on his own dick. That's his biggest problem usually. His top 10 is -120. I'm out on that number. The top 5, you can get him plus 300 is all. Gosh, there's so much risk, I suppose, with a guy that, and that's the problem with Larson. Like, yeah, he should do it, but he steps on it so much that it's concerning at times. And 20-1 to win. I mean, if you want to kind of play the ceiling case, checkers or wreckers, that's kind of the type of guy he is. I suppose that's maybe more the way I would get in on him. Tallyboy also likes Ford to win here again. They are or at least they were the long shots. They are still the long shot. So you can get Chevy at plus 110, Toyota plus 180, Ford at plus 250. That might be a better route than betting on any of the Fords individually, just because, which Ford could it be? It could be a lot of them, right? Toyota plus 280. I don't mind that. Obviously, earlier in the week, I gave out Joe Gibbs Racing as a team to win at 2-1. So I'm still kind of on Chevy, but Ford's looked well. They won finally in the Xfinity Series yesterday with Sam Mayer. Shout out to Rod for hitting that bet on the show this week. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Daniel, there you go. FanDuel has Stenhouse top 10 at 11-1 right now. That's another good thing about the Discord too, is like I can only pull up so many books at one time and look at them as I'm trying to talk here. But in the Discord, somebody will drop some out and they'll be like, oh, hey, this book has it at this price. Obviously you can go through and look at each book individually when you find a bet you like. But, when I was just talking about Stenhouse a second ago, Bet365, he's only 6-1 or something. Or yeah, he's 6-1. So that's pretty sad. I don't remember. I think that was Stenhouse. So it's like, boy, that's where it's tough. But thanks to Daniel here, and again, that's what you get over in the Discord. But yeah, getting him, let's see. Yeah, he's plus 650 on 365. 11-1 over on FanDuel coming in with the bigger top 10s later. Boy, yeah. I mean, yeah, Custer, I mentioned earlier, 16-1. So maybe I should be looking at top 10s on FanDuel at this point in time. Because, yeah, numbers are definitely better on some guys, not as good on others. But, yeah, that's a great place to look as well. Impulse says like McDowell over Ricky Jr., the top 10 number. McDowell 10-1 on FanDuel. So, yeah, if you're picking between those two guys, McDowell obviously starting a lot better, so probably would take him, I suppose, with the track position there. And yeah, the Unscripted Sports Show saying Hamlin 11-1 on ESPN bet, starting 11th, driving the number 11, looking to get 11 wins this season. So looking to get his 11th second place finish in this. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, Denny. All the signs are there, and 11-1, just way too big of a number. Denny Hamlin should not be 11. Have they watched anything? It's like I don't know. And maybe they're baiting us into betting this, but I don't fucking care. Like, if he loses, take my money, because I don't think that it's a bad play. Caesar bringing up Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use the promo code RaceSGPN when you go over there and sign up. He's got a couple of plays over on Underdog. Joey Logano worse than 9.5. Boy, Joey Logano, he is a tough nut to crack. I will tell you that. he's always so hard to figure out where he is. But he likes Joey worse than 9.5. I'll endorse that with you. Chase Elliott better than 8.5. Love that. Byron better than 5.5. I'm just staying away from Byron. I don't know what to think. And he's got Carson worse than 9.5, so he thinks Carson's going to step on it. Denny Hamlin, 6.5. I'll tell you, I love the better than that. Again, not to just be a Hamlin echo chamber in here, but love Denny today. He was 7.5 this morning. I probably played too many things on him, and now he's at 6.5, so sorry for that. Impulse says, put my last money on Carson top Chevy and to win outright, because you know I like those 20-1 odds. Hashtag DGens only. Tallboy73, I think I'm on an island, but not on the Toyotas this week. Oh, man, just I've seen too many Toyota races on short flats go extremely well. So we'll see. Then Briscoe starting up front, I think, is going to be helpful for him at least. And we'll see how it goes. By the way, Briscoe, more poles this season in his first season with Joe Gibbs, we're not even in the playoffs yet, than Denny Hamlin or than Martin Truex Jr. rather had in I think 226 starts he had with Joe Gibbs Racing. Crazy. He's the Ryan Newman of this year, I guess. But Sourdy checking in. What's up, buddy? He's got Larson over Bell and Bubba. So are you taking Larson over Bell, Bubba, and K redacted B, which is Kyle Busch, for those of you that don't know, plus 147 on 365. Are you doing all of those? Or maybe is this a group? Maybe. I'm guessing. Let's see. I'll try to pull it up here. Let's see. To win group. No, I don't know if you're parlaying these or what, but if you trust Larson, go for it. I mean, over Bubba and Busch, obviously, yeah. Over Bell, though, just because Bell was super fast in practice, just because he wasn't great in qualifying, I don't like to overlook quite. And that's part of the reason why we do our shows early in the week, because the speed is there, the history is there. Bell should be really good. Larson again, second place in Knoxville yesterday. Like, he just can't, but he's still going to finish well, right? Most of the time when he doesn't step on it. But JDK wants to reiterate, it's never Barry week. Well, it was Barry week in Las Vegas, JDK. So Sansa saying this is basically the Sunday morning Discord plus Cody's pretty face. I don't know about that, but I'll take it. So thank you. And yeah, thank you, Sour D. Appreciate you. And Lynn saying, it was baby Cody. Yes, that was very baby Cody when I was in the Navy. So yeah, that's and yeah, I'm 35 now. I think you're trying to guess my age. Not 35. That's what your guess. 32 and 35. I'm 33. So I look a lot older than I actually am, which I pretty much always have. But that's how it goes. Daniel, yep, the Stenhouse thing he's saying is still there. I'm way behind on the chat, so just trying to catch up here. Unscripted Sports Show, thoughts on Ross Chastain today, top 10. As I sort of mentioned, I'm just not real giddy for the Trackhouse guys right now. Plus 105 over on FanDuel. What is Ross Chastain? I feel like it's not been good lately, but sometimes you get those biases in there. You want to double check what has he done for me lately. So we will see what he has done for me lately. Yeah, it's not been good in any way, shape, or form. 39th, 33rd, 24th. He was 10th at the street course. 33rd, 26th, 16th. You got to go back to Michigan for a 6th place finish. 11th at Nashville, 18th at Coda. I know he won the Coke 600 coming off of a good run at the All-Star race in Texas. 11th at Phoenix earlier this year. Not good at Dover. I don't know. Just not big enough number, I don't think. So Charles says Byron is going to win this race for Sydney Sweeney. The man's won back-to-back Daytona 500. Do you think the Iowa race is what's going to help him? But who knows? So Unscripted Show says Denny might be a trap today. However, scared money don't make money. Put the little box out there with the stick and put Denny Hamlin under it, and I'm going for that every time with current form right now. So let's see. JDK is on Byron, stage 1 winner at 5-1. I should pull up some stage odds and take a peek at those. It's not not something we got to talk about a ton early in the week, because we don't usually have stage 1 odds. So you got Briscoe, Larson, Byron, Blaney, Hamlin, 6-1. Boy, does Briscoe just? I mean, Briscoe was really good. Did he run away? He ran away with stage 1 last week too, and he was good at a couple of weeks ago, just kind of running away with stage 1. Was it Pocono? I think when he qualified well there too. So if Byron doesn't get him, man, I'm just how heavy am I going to lean into fucking Toyota here? But I think Briscoe still is the bet for this. Plus 350. Again, Byron at a better number, so if you think he gets him right away, but the problem is, like, we're not in for a lot of green flag passes for the lead this week, guys. Like, it's going to be another story like we've had recently at Indy, like we had recently at Pocono. I don't see a lot of green flag passes happening. So pit stop, how does the pit stop go early? Does somebody gamble? That's what makes a guy like a Bubba Wallace. What's Bubba Wallace's number at? 28-1. That's what makes somebody like him interesting. Like, do they just say, fuck it, we're going to go get a point right here because there's a late stage caution? Like, if you want a long shot, something like that I would kind of be interested in, because I think they're going to have that mindset until we get to the playoffs. If they have a chance to potentially steal a point for the playoffs, he's got to get some points. So I think they might. Caesar saying, I know you can still get Denny at 7.5 on Dabble. They're basically a copy and paste of Underdog, except they take forever to bump stuff. Sounds horrible. Use Underdog. Promo code RACE SGPN. Sansa, Eric Jones, Group E over on the Caesars. Let me get the Caesars pulled up, but you know how we feel about Legacy Motor Club. Obviously, been very high on them on the show here lately. Let's see. What time? Oh, we got plenty of time before the race starts. Okay, good. That's not a problem. Okay, Group E, groups here. Oh, boy. Caesars changes shit way too much. Daniel Suarez, love taking him over that. AJ Allmendinger, okay. Austin Dillon's plus 350. Eric Jones, 4-1. Yeah, I don't mind biting on that. Not concerned about Suarez. Dinger, I think, probably has a solid day. He's probably the one I'm most worried about. Dillon, you've got like the Richmond comp. Could he be good here? Maybe. We know how RCR is at times. And Eric Jones being the longest one in that group at 4-1. I would take that. I don't mind that at all. Jess, hey Jess, good to see you. Hope everything is good with the pup. Boji Joe was telling us earlier this week about the pup. So hope all's going well there. Been sending you good thoughts and vibes there. Cindric top 4, she got it 15-1. Now it's 7-1. Whew. That's a big change. So glad you got in on that early. JDK says Bell 8-1 on 365. Blaney boosted to 6-1. I don't mind Bell at that number too. Earlier this week I just took the Gibbs play over the Bell play because he was so short, plus 425. But now, at 8-1, he was the favorite earlier this week and he's fast at practice. I don't hate that. Blaney, I know he won here last year. I know he's been good on short flats. 6-1 for a guy that's just not as consistent. I don't know. AJ over Suarez, Dillon, and Jones. That's that same group actually that I just talked about. So Jess is looking at AJ Allmendinger in that group. And then it was Sansa was looking at Eric Jones in that group. So differing opinions there. Those are the two guys I would look at in that group, honestly. I'd probably rather take the Jones just for the number, especially in a group like you got to beat 3 other people. If you're going to do it, I'd rather have 4-1 than 170. I mean, that obviously maybe goes without saying, but that's probably the way I would take. But if you do like AJ and you just want to bet him in this group, I wouldn't say not to bet that, I suppose, as well. So TK said weird to see SVG out qualify his teammates on an oval 2 weeks in a row. I think that gives you a pretty good standing of where Trackhouse is at the moment. Jess saying Bowman over Chastain, Carson, and Gibbs. I don't mind that. We talked about Bowman earlier. He's been strong, really good at Dover a couple weeks ago. Gibbs definitely concerns me a little bit. Hocevar, it's got speed, but inconsistent. So I don't mind that part of it. I don't know what the number is there, but Carson top 5. Again, talked about that earlier. I just don't know the numbers big enough. But JDK saying he's P2 and had a great long run car. on the Byron thing. I think that was for the stage. So yeah, that potentially the long run part of it comes into it. Good on the long run of practice. So there you go. Jess says she can't wait to watch today's parade. Hey, it's better than no parade, right? I suppose. So, and AJ, wow, AJ was plus 350 in that Group E. So my goodness. And then just saying thank you for Daisy. Yes, shout out to Daisy the pup. Unscripted Sports Show says I was wrong with Reddick finishing 9th here last year. It was Daniel Suarez. That's, oh boy, not interested. Neither of them, just not interested in either. Sour D saying I can get Hamlin boost to plus 500 on Caesars. I love that. Then he doesn't have to win, right? Maybe it's Larson, maybe it's Byron, maybe it's Bell, but just top 3. Like I read you the stats earlier for what Denny Hamlin's done. He's been really fucking good on ovals lately. Again, until he beats us, we're gonna just keep playing it. So. And great job, Jess, getting AJ earlier in the week. Preston says over under 1.5 corn products consumed during the race while watching from home. Luckily, I have Nebraska corn here, so much better than that Iowa corn is. But I think actually state law, we only eat items that have corn in them. So there you go. JDK saying SVG, it has begun. I don't know what that's for. Just saying, can Bush win? Got him at 3,000. Can he win? Sure. Will he win? It's probably going to be tough. Starting in the back. I don't remember. I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they went to a backup car because I think he destroyed that one. I don't know. I wouldn't bet it at certainly at that price at this point in time, but maybe some strategy or whatever gets him up there. And that's the thing is we've seen some crazy stuff lately where guys. So I mean, look at Joey Logano 2 weeks ago at Indy or last week at Indy, right? He was going to win on crazy strategy. Now, part of that strategy failed on him being the tire, but Bubba was on a not much different strategy and ended up working for him. So there you go. Daniel had 2 100% profit boosts. Used them on Blaney and Larson. Hey, getting the bigger numbers. I certainly do not mind that. So, all right, caught up on the chat questions for now. If anybody else has questions, keep dropping them in here. I will keep going with them. I did want to build some stuff over on Underdog real quick. So I'm going to start with, I like to do like 3 or 4, like just my favorite ones, build something like that. And then I like to do the D-Gen ones, throw them together. And then maybe we'll build one. Drop your favorite Underdog plays in the chat here, and we'll build a D-Gen one from the chat. So I'll break ties if you guys are going different ways on guys because I have the microphone. So let's see. Denny Hamlin better than 6.5. That's an auto. He's going in. Chase Elliott better than 7.5. Absolutely love both of those. Going to take those. Oh yeah, real quick. Kelly with the local hammer of the day. Shout out to I believe that's our buddy Searching for Profit there. I don't know that there's any hammers, but I did take because they're both at plus money. I took Denny Hamlin over. Boy, what did I screenshot the thing? Well, that's weird. Okay, but I took Denny Hamlin plus 150 over Kyle Larson. That's my favorite one. Again, I still like Larson. I think he's gonna have a good day, but a plus 150 for the guy I think is the best right now, crazy. And then I took him over Byron as well, plus money. So I just went smaller. I don't have like a big hammer, but that's what I'm going with. So, just real quick, who is the fantasy plays in our league? I believe she's talking about the NASCAR fantasy game thing. So I will pull that up. I'll give you my plays. Unfortunately, I'm tapped out on Denny Hamlin, so I had to put him to the bench because I don't have any starts left. But I've got Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney. And then I got Kyle Larson in my garage. And I'll tell you, I put Kyle Larson in the garage quite often because he is that guy that can just go out and dominate like we saw at Kansas, right? That's when you have to sub him in. But if he goes out and wrecks early, then he's in the garage and I don't have to worry about him too much. So that's the plays I went with was Elliott, Briscoe, Cindric, Bell, and Blaney. And then for the head-to-heads, I took Bubba Wallace over Ross Chastain. I took Chase Elliott over Christopher Bell. I took Josh Berry over Ricky Stenhouse. And I took Ryan Blaney over William Byron. So there you have it. That's my NASCAR Fantasy Live plays for you today. Preston says, wish we had Underdog in Tennessee. Might start writing to my reps or Underdog Racing. Yeah, it's so crazy you don't have Underdog Racing there. I think that Prize Picks might have stuff over there, but don't tell Underdog that. Maybe tell Underdog that, and they'll get it figured out. So, but check that out. Mile High Racing checking in says I like Hocevar today. We talked about Hocevar a little bit ago. Tough to bet on. That's what I got, right? 20-1 to win. Maybe you go that way, but otherwise tough to bet on. So, all right, back to this Underdog lineup that I was building here. Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott. So that puts us at 3.5 times the money. Scrolling through here, Briscoe at 6.5. We'll bookmark that. Oh, Cindric at 10.5. All right, we're taking that. Cindric at 10.5. And boy, Ross Chastain worse than 11.5 is calling my name. That's gonna probably be in the D-Gen one. Okay, we're gonna go with Briscoe as the other one. So official Underdog lineup here. Austin Cindric better than 10.5. Chase Briscoe better than 6.5. Chase Elliott better than 7.5. And Denny Hamlin better than 6.5. Gives you 12 times your entry fee. So, that adds up pretty quick. I'm going to do $20 play here, and that will give you $240. So we're going to submit that one. I will share this over in the Discord as well. Screenshot. I'm going to go post that. From the show. That way you guys can get that. Okay. All right. Now we're going to build a D-Gen one, and then if you guys got plays you like, put them in the chat here, and I will we'll build a big one there as well. So I'm going to go Denny Hamlin better, Chase Elliott better. Let's go. Oh boy, this is where it gets tough because when you start adding a lot of guys in here, it's when it gets crazy. We're gonna go Joey Logano worse. We're gonna go with Austin Cindric better. We're gonna go with Ross Chastain worse. I'll read these off again as I get to them at the end. We're gonna go Tyler Reddick worse. All these guys are just betters. So we're at 6. So we want to add 2 more if we can get them in here. Let's see. Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace. Those guys are all just betters. Alex Bowman's at 12.5. That should be a better, right? Let's go with Alex Bowman at better than 12.5. One more play here. Josh Berry's at 11.5. Briscoe. Oh, it's Briscoe week, right? The problem is you get too many guys up in the top 5. What do we have? Okay, so far, okay, that's it. We're at Briscoe. All right, so here's the D-Gen play. 120 times your money. So $10, $1,200 is what it'll pay you out. All right, write this down. If you're get out your pen and paper, as Rod would say. Here we go. Alex Bowman, better than 12.5. Austin Cindric, better than 10.5. Chase Briscoe, better than 6.5. Chase Elliott, better than 7.5. Denny Hamlin, better than 6.5. We're it's a lot of better thans, but I'm feeling chalky race, right? These are all guys I like today. Rolling with it. Joey Logano worse, 9.5. Ross Chastain worse than 11.5. And Tyler Reddick worse than 10.5. 120 times your play. I don't do the flex bullshit. We're this all in, right? $10, $1,200. We're gonna submit that one. Boom. I will share this over in the Discord as well. For those of you following along, again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's where the conversation always continues. So, let's see. Daniel says tried out the DK draft snake thing today. That I didn't have a. Maybe I'll do one before the race today if there's still some up. But yeah, that was a lot of fun last week. And actually, I won mine that I did. I only did one last week, but it was fun. So I like that. Unscripted Sports Show wants to know how the weather is looking over in Newton, Iowa today. I think all the weather has followed. Maybe we need to do this more often, but maybe NASCAR tricked Mother Nature and got her to think we were at Bristol this week. And yeah, she dumped all over that baseball game yesterday, unfortunately. So yeah, we're looking looking great in Newton, Iowa there. 0% chance. So I wouldn't take that for everything, but looking solid. We should be able to get that race in just fine. All right, I'm about to wrap it up. So if you guys have any other final questions or anything, hit me up here quick and I will Answer: Jess Hamlin top is plus 125, top 5. This feels like he won't be good today. That is my favorite bet that is still on the board. The Briscoe top 10 is long gone at this point in time. Absolutely love Denny Hamlin top 5. As I mentioned earlier, he's been on fire on the ovals. Oops. If I can click on the right tab here, he's been on fire on the ovals here lately. Third place last week at Indy, won at Dover, comp track to this. Second at Pocono, first at Michigan, third at Nashville. That's every oval track we've run since Kansas at May 11th, where he wrecked out. And he had good finishes earlier this year. So I know he wasn't good in this race last year, but that's a whole year ago. A lot of things have changed. Joe Gibbs is in their era right now. Denny's in his era, 4 wins, just had the baby. He's living high, right? Except in the courtroom where things aren't going so well. But otherwise doing great. Shannon wants to know, do you expect a lot of lead changes today? I don't. So I guess I don't from like a green flag standpoint. Now, I don't know what the prop number is on that, and I suppose I could probably try and find that. I think we're going to get I think we're going to see a lot of strategy today. I would expect quite a bit of strategy out of different guys. Brad Keselowski is going to try strategy. I would expect to see it out of the Penske guys like we did last week. Bubba Wallace, as I mentioned a couple of times, I think is going to be very strategic. I think we're going to see a lot of strategy this week because I don't think there's going to be a lot of passing. I think this is going to be just less of a passing race, I guess. So trying to see if there's a lap leader or a lead changes. Let's see. If anybody's seen that prop too, you could let me know where. I'm just trying to look through here. I'm not seeing one. So, but and I'd have to go back and look too at previous data and stuff. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of green flag passes. I guess so I'll just kind of leave it at that. And yeah, JDK with the never-ending tire. That's why I don't understand. Yeah, 0.0 or 0.12 seconds of fall off in practice over 25 laps. That's the problem. I think that why would you not bring a softer tire and we had good racing last year, and why not build on that? And instead we made it last longer. We're going in the opposite direction of where we should have been. So I don't know. Sansa says, thanks for doing this. Hey, you're welcome. I had a lot of fun. This was fun to jump on, talk with you guys. Maybe we'll try and do it a little more often whenever it works out. So, just says, what do we do? What do we want? Track position. When do we want it? Sunday. Let's go get him, right? That's exactly what we want. Kelly says, should I hammer Denny plus 125, top 5 on local instead of heads up? You get top 5s on your local. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I get top 3s, but no top 5s. Yes, I would rather have that than him over Larson at plus 150. Yes, I would 100% take that instead. So Daniel says, awesome pre-game show. Let's race. Let's fucking go. Love it. Jay says, surprising to see Priest so low. Busher been missing too. Yeah, Priest again. Everything leading up to this weekend said don't do Priest, despite wanting to do Priest. So I'm out on him. So, and Busher, I don't know. Busher's kind of weird, but yeah, and 23.6 was the fastest. 23.72 was after 25 laps. So yeah, not been great. JDK wants us to do a call-in show. That's we would love. We've tried multiple times to figure out how to do it. It's not as easy as it should be to be able to get, but Rod's got some magic he can work with his board. We need to, that's back towards the top of we've actually been talking about that. So we're trying to figure out a way to get it, because I would love to have you guys be able to call in and give your takes on stuff. I know the guys on the main podcast do it all the time, but they have a lot of technology on their hands, and we don't. So we'll see. But and yeah, Sour D, Priest top 10 to plus 320. I don't think the number is too good. That's the thing. I don't think it's too good. I'm just if Priest beats us today, Priest beats us today. That's what we'll leave it at. So, well, yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you head over to Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with that promo code RACESGPN if you haven't already. Love those guys. Get those plays in. I shared those over in the Discord. If you want to go back and go over those as well. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Discord. Just wants to know where Rod is. I don't know where Rod is today, honestly. I just was like, hey, I'm gonna jump on and do this. I didn't ask Rod, but he's family day. He's having fun with the fam, so just letting him do his thing. So yeah, just figured I'd jump on, answer some questions. You guys gave me an hour's worth of questions, so shout out to you for all of that. Best luck today. Don't forget that Nebraska corn is better than Iowa corn. And happy Chase Briscoe Day. That's all I got for you guys. So yeah, we'll see you next time. And let's go racing and let it ride.